and we are continuing live where you live in the ByWard Market. We touched on the fact that there's so much vibrant stores and cuisine here in the market, and lots of people walking by enjoying our live show. But there's a wonderful history behind the ByWard Market as well. Francesco Corsaro is joining us. He's the ByTown Museum Director of Development. Great to have you on the show.
Hello.
And as I was mentioning, there's so much that goes on here, but there's a really true and unique history to the ByWard Market.
There's a great history to the market. We should be very proud of this part of town because it goes very far back, and there's a rich history to it, as you say.
This was the gathering for so many people. Yeah. I mean, how long are we talking about in terms of the history and the years that we really started to see development here in Ottawa?
We're talking as far back as 1826 when the canal was starting to be built, and then the market came into itself in about the 1830s. When it became a vibrant market where the canal builders and the lumberjacks had to come here for their food and maybe also to come here for their entertainment to the taverns and to the brothels.
Yes, there were many of those here back in the day. And there's some really important structures, landmarks here that really you can chronicle the history as well.
Yeah, there was a town hall here. There was also, it stands today, the house of the one person who was charged and tried for the murder that happened during the Stony Monday riots back in, 1849. And actually the anniversary of the Stony Monday riots was just this past Saturday on September 17th.
Was there anything done or just anything to commemorate a day like that?
There wasn't a big event happening at the ByWard Market or at the ByTown Museum, but we certainly do tweet about it. We like to tell our members, we like to tell our visitors about stuff like this. They're important parts of our history, and the Stony Monday riot was certainly one of those parts.
Okay, so we were looking at a couple of pictures going by on the house. What was the Brûlé house?
The Brûlé house is the home of the gentleman who was tried for the murder during this at the Stony Monday riot.
That was the Brûlé house.
I'm forgetting the name of the guy who was accused.
But that was what Brûlé house. I just saw
Brûlé
one of the
house,
pictures
right there on St. Patrick's Street.
So do you like looking back in this and just seeing how the city essentially evolved, and really the canal was such a huge part as to why we even we exist as it is anyway?
The canal plays a huge part in the development of the city. I mean, it's where the canal was meant to be a military route, but then it wasn't really used as a military route. It was used as a supply route. And then up until today now, today it's used as a leisure boat route. So the canal has seen many lives.
Not exactly what it was originally intended for, and at the same time then created the basis to how we really started developing Ottawa here in the market.
Yeah, we saw development of homes, of different parts of the city. There was Lower Town, the ByWard Market here, and Upper Town. Over by Lyon and Wellington. Lower Town was predominantly French and Irish and Catholic, and Upper Town was predominantly English, Scottish, and Presbyterian.
A lot of interesting history. What is it like at the museum, at the ByTown Museum, in terms of what it is that you like to cover and what people are coming to see?
We like to cover how Ottawa began. Just like we're talking about, Colonel John By was commissioned to build the canal, and we like to tell that story. We like to tell the story about the lumber barons. We like to tell the story about Victorian Ottawa and how the gentry of the time, when Ottawa was a young national capital, how parliamentarians and how people like, the governors general would have costume balls, for instance. We show pictures of people in costume.
Lots of information. You can get more information ByTownMuseum.ca.
ByTownMuseum.ca.
ByTownMuseum.ca if you're looking for more information and wonderful and rich history here in the market and, of course, throughout the city of Ottawa. We're going to take a short commercial break. Thanks, Francesco, for joining us. We're going to be joining back in, going right across the street. Actually, I'm looking at the big sign for the Grand Pizzeria and Bar. That's coming your way right after this.